And good Thursday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. We begin this day together, and y'all grip the counter if you hadn't opened your door yet. It's 49 outside. Chilly, isn't it? That's not the worst of it. Y'all be prepared as we head into the weekend. We're expecting Saturday night to be below freezing. Sunday night will be right at it, about 32 at the freezing degree mark. But make sure now to prepare and get everything ready as we get ready for this weekend. Make sure you got propane. Make sure everything's working. You've tested your heat. And that your animals, whether it's kitty cats, puppy dogs, whatever the case is, are ready for what's coming. We seriously want everybody to stay warm. Don't forget to back up and keep those space heaters away from curtains and those things of that nature. We don't want anybody hurt. Last night, she came ashore. Nicole came on as a Cat 1 at 75 miles an hour. She has made her way inland as we pull this up this morning to show you where and what's going on. She came ashore, what was it, 3 a.m. Vero Beach as we pull this up. We'll go to Meridian Honda radar. This is where she is this morning. Here's Vero Beach right there. Now, as we'll look at this, those winds this morning are down to 69 miles an hour. It's dropped about 5 since it went ashore. Gust of 86 miles an hour, wreaking havoc upon Florida, moving west-northwest at 14 miles an hour. Very serious storm there as it comes in. If you're in Florida watching these areas, if you have family, make sure they know the path of where this is going here. We've got this, and we'll show it throughout the day of where it's going. Lots of rain up to Gainesville, and this will make its turn on into Georgia as you see this. As it comes out, we'll go right up there, just west of there, and should enter, let's say, Thomasville, Georgia. That's where the line of this is headed. We're going up to the Carolinas, that direction there. So that's what we've got with the hurricane this morning that is already down to a tropical storm. Make no mistake, 69-mile-an-hour winds are still strong, without a doubt. That's what's happening there this morning. I do hope your day is going well and everything has gone good for you as we begin this day together. What a beautiful day it's going to be. We'll tell you all about the sunshine. We'll get up to 73 before it's all said and done. Let's check in. How did the great folks at Collinsville Baptist?
When I was a teenager, we moved to a house in Alabama that had these big, healthy vines in the backyard that looked like grapevines, but we had no idea what kind of grapes they were. Turns out they were muscadines. We had never seen them before, but they are so good. We knew the vines were healthy and they had to produce something, but we didn't know what until they produced their fruit. In Matthew 7:15 through 20, Jesus talks to those listening about being mindful of false prophets. He says they will look like one thing, but in reality, they are something else. Jesus said in verse 16 and 20, you will recognize them by their fruits. Even today, it's essential for us to recognize what is truth and what is false teaching. Those who teach the truth will bear fruit that reflects the good things of God. Those who teach the things that are false will produce fruit that reflects the ideas and ways of the world. Be discerning and look for the fruit being produced. Remember, change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Brother Paul with a message there for you. First Baptist Church there in Collinsville. Drop in and visit with them sometime. Don't forget today the big program that will take place, and this pretty much sets the standard for all programs in the Meridian area, as Southeast will have their Veterans Day ceremony. It will begin around 9 and run through about 11 o'clock today. A very, very great program that's been done for years by Algie Davis. I do hope if you're in the area, you can come out where they honor all veterans. Very, very great program, which leads into tomorrow with our program in downtown Meridian. The ceremony at 10:30 at the Doughboy Monument, and then the parade will happen that afternoon at 3 o'clock. I do hope you can make it out to both, whether you're in it or alongside watching everything that happens. Lamar Henry, good morning there. Doris Gressett's up. Sandra, how are you? Good morning. Mike Dallas joining us there. Charlotte Gray from Philadelphia. Lisa Berry, so good to see each and every one of y'all as we begin this. Now, as we get into headlines of what has gone on in the Meridian area, I posted this yesterday, and we would find out later that it was a little bit more serious than we thought. I knew it was serious, but I didn't think anything had been hit. As we go back to this, a home was hit, an apartment complex, yesterday. We posted that gunshots were fired somewhere near Azalea Park. 2 cars were involved. Let's make this a little bit bigger here where you can see this. As the 2 cars drove through the apartment complex, they shot and fired. Let's pull this up on a map where you can see this a little bit better where this is. This is Highway 39 right here. Here's Johnson Toyota. It's going to be on the west side of Highway 39. As you'll look here, back right in here, EMEPA sits here. This would be back here directly across the street off of 10th Avenue. Shots would be fired. Possibly, I'm not sure about cars being hit, but we do know one apartment complex was hit, went through the window. The person was not at home when it happens. No one was injured, thank heavens. This goes on day in, day out in our community. When will it stop? The bad guys know that they'll get in trouble for it, I think, is the answer to that. They've sort of had rule of the roost here lately, have they not? That happened yesterday afternoon, so that you're aware of where things go on. Now, we did have other reports of gunfire overnight. Nothing at this point, as daylight breaks, we don't know of anything hit. We just know that there were gunshots fired. 23rd Avenue, this is becoming more and more common in the 1700 block of 23rd Avenue. As we look at this, this is it's this button I'm supposed to hit right there. This area here, right off 24th, at Dollar General. Let's blow this up where you can see this. This is 24th where the Dollar General sits. It would be right before you get there, a block or two to the right there, due north of Anderson's Hospital, those back streets behind there. We're seeing more and more gunfire in those areas. Now, again, we got some more places we'll talk about after 8 o'clock, but I urge you, if this bothers you, contact your city council representative, contact the mayor's office, and contact the police chief of Meridian. They have to know that this does concern you before anything is ever done. We've talked about that a lot. We did release yesterday afternoon that the gateway to Meridian is going to be closed for another 2 weeks. What do you mean gateway? What am I talking about? As we pull up this picture here, as you can see it. 22nd Avenue, as you go over the bridge to downtown, will be closed for at least another 2 weeks. Let's pull that picture up. We can see it a little bit better there as we make this larger on your screen there. So you'll see the gravel right about right there. They've run into a what you would call a rump road. Sewer line problem. They're having to call in another specialist to get this fixed as we look at this. It'll be a little bit while. They're estimating again about 2 weeks. If you own a business, as we look back at that, it's just not good for you down through there, is it? Certainly not. You've got to go left where you can go around and go under the tunnel and the back way to downtown Meridian, or take the 18th Avenue Bridge over by McDonald's as you come down through there off of North Frontage Road into downtown Meridian to go where you want to. Plan ahead, another 2 weeks of that. We haven't heard any more. I'll check back with Chief Deputy Ward Calhoun this morning to see what we know about the shooting that occurred out in the southeast area. As we mentioned yesterday, we got the news right after this show. We would get it before the 8 o'clock show that someone had been arrested at Southeast for possession of a handgun on school property. A little bit later, after the high school ball game, the basketball game, a home would be shot at on Buck Newell Road. The two are connected. We'll check back with Ward to find out what the connections are and see where we're going. This one arrest has been made. We don't know if any more were made yesterday with connection to this. But serious. One of the first times we've seen activity like this in the county. We certainly don't want any more of this. And what's the old saying, needs to be nipped in the bud now? As Barney would say, that's what we want. We had a fender bender yesterday afternoon. This would be in the North Hills area, right there by Popeye's Chicken and by Bank Plus. This slowed up traffic. 3 cars were involved in this. If you didn't see the post on this last night, as we looked at this, a little mess there for a little while, right there at dark 30, slowed traffic. We had an accident with possible injuries, Highway 45 North in Meridian, right there at the split at the Shell station where it becomes 4-lane. Right there yesterday afternoon, Meridian Police Department responded to it. Ambulance was sent out. We do hope everybody is okay. That went on yesterday afternoon there at Meridian, right before you got to the interstate. As we look around with a few other things, let's see. I posted this, and of course it's hard to find out what becomes of someone after they reach a hospital. I got a report that a young lady, possibly in her 30s, had been found lying in the street in the 1500 block of 35th Avenue. As paramedics came up on this, I'm told that she was coded, which means that not breathing at the moment. I think in the end, they were able to bring her back, and she was rushed to a hospital. We don't know what caused it, what it was all about, but found lying in the road. This could be medical conditions or numerous things. We do hope a full recovery for her. I know that out there somewhere, someone knows this young lady. Y'all check on her, make sure that she's doing okay. Hate to have to report those things. As we go to Clark County, we got somebody wanted. Ooh, the sheriff is wanting somebody. As we look at this, Joel, as we look at this, let's go to Clark County Hot Topics and pull this up where you can see this. This comes in from a bench warrant has been issued there for receiving stolen property. Goes in between Hattiesburg and Wayne County and those areas there through Clark County. We'll see that receiving stolen property. We'll find out what becomes of that with the Clark County Sheriff's Department as they put out that BOLO. As we look at some state headlines. Now, always remember when you see a headline, there's usually more to the story than meets the eye, especially when it comes to politicians, and I think that's where we are on this next story, as we see that the Speaker of the House, Philip Gunn, is not going to seek re-election as Speaker of the House. Now, does that mean that he's done with politics? Absolutely not. He's leaving that door open, as we all know, most likely will take a shot at being governor. That's what we think is coming. Speaker of the House, Philip Gunn, to resign, retire, however you want to do that, but you can almost bet your boots you'll see him before long running for the governor of Mississippi, as we have one of the weakest governors, I think, that we've had in times past, as most are looking at. Tate's beatable. Hasn't stuck by his word. Babyface Tate. We'll see what becomes of that. There's several. Will Shad White run? That would be interesting. His name is in there. Lynn Finch is also our attorney general. We'll find out what happens with that. Does she do it or not? There's a lot of people that are considering it. And again, if Tate was a little bit stronger, that wouldn't even be talked about. But as we all know, that's not the case. We'll see what becomes of it. We see that as we go to Jackson, as you go over there, there's a lot of people have to go for medical reasons. The University of Mississippi Medical Center. We see that a carjacking happened in the parking lot. The person threw down the keys as they were assaulted there, gave it to them. The car was stolen and carjacked, and they ran away. The person was not harmed, which is good, not in any serious manner anyway. They were checked out. That happens in these, no matter where you are, what city you're in, be aware of your surroundings when you go to your car. There's a lot of times, as you remember back those old Charles Bronson movies, always someone lurking in the darkness to take something that you've got because, well, they're simply too lazy to work. We know how that works. Be careful wherever you are because it's going to be increased crime as we go into these holidays. Tons of alarms that have gone off overnight in our area as I look at my cheat sheet of notes here of what went on overnight, of what I was told here and there. I have no confirmations of anything stolen. I just know that there was some mischief throughout the city overnight. We'll try to dig into these stories and find out if anything develops, if anything really was taken. But P's and Q's as we go into these holidays. We see that, do y'all remember the reports of the fires in Jackson that were arson? They arrested a suspect for this. A male. He's been denied bond. He sat there at the ball field at JSU, set fire to that. It was 5 or 6 other different locations that he set fire to. Now, do we know if he's mentally stable, if that had anything? We don't. But he's been denied bond. The judge's not going to let him loose at this point. Let's see here what we've got. We see that there has been, if I am not mistaken, a loss of life in the Vicksburg area. We pass condolences to the family of Catherine Gaines. She was 57 of Warren County. She died on Tuesday morning in a single vehicle accident. She was in a Toyota truck. It flipped. They don't think that anybody else was involved, and it came to rest up against some trees. She was pronounced dead at the scene. How tragic that is this close to the holidays to lose someone in this manner. LaWanda points out that law enforcement just can't be everywhere at the same time. We all know that. Be careful out there. You should take a stand with your rights. I think most do agree with that. Let's see here. We got somebody. How many times do we read stories of people where they're just simply crooks when it comes to schemes and things of that nature? And we're going to talk about this morning. This is happening in Meridian. This story here brought forth another message, and I haven't had a chance to type it out yet, and I meant to do it yesterday. Cash apps. Y'all be careful in the Meridian area. I've gotten 3 to 4 reports of someone that when you get out of your car acts as though there's something wrong with theirs and they don't have their cell phone. Can they use your cell phone? And what they're truly up to is if you've got a cash app on your phone, they steal your cash that you've got in it. How that works, I don't know, but criminals are pretty good at it. This happened in front of O'Reilly Auto Center. I've gotten reports of it in parking lots of truck stops in several locations in the area. Do not let anybody use your phone. Things have gotten, what's the word I'm looking for? There's more and more information on these things nowadays of people that use this for banking. That do have those cash apps where maybe they've got kids at college or whatever that they send money back and forth to. So if you've got that, make sure not to let anybody use your phone. It's just not worth it. Tell them you'll call them for them if you stop and try to help that. Boy. As we look back at this was somebody that defrauded a homeowners association, claimed that they were going to do work, and it turns out they didn't. They're getting ready to be sentenced. They're headed off to jail. They defrauded that homeowners association for about $2 million. That's pretty strong, isn't it? $2 million. There's people that'll do it for $100. I wouldn't want for the gusto. If he was going to get in trouble, he got $2 million there. An Oxford man has been arrested, charged with cyber stalking on a dating app. Nothing worse than meeting somebody you don't like and, well, they won't leave you alone. Kendall Darnell Thompson has been arrested. He's 24 years old, and the charge is cyber stalking. Of course, you're innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, but charges have been filed. This probably doesn't scratch the surface, and I'm sure that there are people that got away with this. And I know y'all know this. You hear about an arrest here and there on these charges, but I bet you in the big scheme, because there's people that just simply don't want to work. We see that a former correctional officer has pleaded guilty to what? The PPI funds. Y'all remember that? All that money the government was giving out without asking questions, just handing it over. Yazoo City is where they worked at the correctional facility. They went on to lead authorities to believe that they had a dog grooming business, which it doesn't look as though they did. They will face 20 years in jail for this, for scheming and taking money for something that was fraudulent. Can't do that. We'll find out what they really get. And again, now, I don't know in the end, after charges are filed and that gavel swings down, what you actually spend in jail. But they are taking a stand on this, and they've gotten a few. There is no telling what our government lost, and you as a taxpayer lost to people that were defrauding you. As LaWanda said, PayPal's is easy to take off those cash apps too. I don't have any of that. I'm not allowed to do that because I hadn't understood it yet. Well, I hadn't taken the time and read it. I've got to do that. As we look down to the coast of Mississippi, a Gulfport man has been arrested. Why? Downloading child pornography. There's more and more of that every day, isn't it? We see that a Mississippi murder suspect has been arrested in Memphis, Tennessee. The U.S. Marshals went in, ablazing in the darkness of night, and arrested. I think they got 4 bad guys all together. This happened earlier this week as a warrant was issued for Stanley Self. It goes back to a October 6th murder. Been arrested, taken into custody there in Memphis. Again, as we point out, innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But apparently the U.S. Marshals has enough information to make something probably stick there. Now, I don't even know how to word all of this, but we see more and more of this. Columbus is the next town that we see this happened in. It sounded as though it may have been road rage at first as a lady was driving down the street and her car began getting shot at. Turns out in the end, I think police believe it had more to do with a domestic dispute than it did just a random shooting. He's been arrested and taken into custody. He'll stand before a judge before long. They did this in Lowndes County also as you go to North Mississippi, which is good, and you hear about these. They did it down South Mississippi not long ago, 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning when you're fast asleep and you're a bad guy. Maybe you're not out doing anything wrong that night and you're asleep in your bed. Here come the popo. 18 were arrested in an early morning raid in Lowndes County. Drug bust, 18 of them, handcuffs off. They went to the county jail. Good place for them. Now, as we all know that this new referendum, as we will have, it'll be legal. And I think a lot of people do agree that if you're sick and truly sick, that medical marijuana will help. What we worry about is those that fake this, the places that will be selling this, do they have enough security? We certainly don't want our town to end up like other towns out west that have this. We certainly don't want recreational by any means, but we don't want this to get out of hand. I think a lot of concerns over this, as Lauderdale County did pass it with a vote of nearly 9,000 to nearly 6,000 against it, 9,000 for it. Gives you an idea of how many people showed up out of 80,000. Do the arithmetic on that. That's what we've got. We've got a murder trial starting this week for Louisville. Had somebody arrested back in May. They were found in Kemper County. They've been charged with murder. Happened at Alice Circle. Sam Jones and Roman Mosley were killed. Got some people standing trial. They're going to stand trial together. We'll watch this as this trial will most likely go on throughout the week. Also, we're going to talk about this morning at 8 o'clock as people start quickly turning on Donald Trump. Have y'all seen this? Oh, those that never liked him are quick to point out that his political career is over. They're calling him all kinds of names. They're grouping together and going after him. Will he survive it? Will he still run for president? I would say most likely. Was he really? Is it his fault? We don't know. But that is some headlines. We'll check your weather forecast next as we begin this day together. I'll put a smile on. It's going to be great. We're going to check that cold forecast that is up next here in just a moment. Don't rush off. If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike Reed has years of experience dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel. Mark your calendars for the 5th annual Hickory Pickin' Day. It's Saturday, November the 12th from 9 in the morning till 4 that afternoon with plenty of parking. With over 100 vendors inside and outside the store. Arts, crafts, clothing galore. With jewelry and antiques and those hard-to-find items. Don't forget to bring the kids along for the petting zoo. Entertainment from Meridian's own Emily White and Daniel House and many more. Mark your calendars for Hickory Pickin' Day, Saturday, November the 12th from 9 until 4 in Hickory. And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray as we begin this day. Some of the comments there of what about beer and liquor that's used out of hand? That is a problem in all societies. It's been going on since time. Law enforcement does what they can. We're living in some different times in America at this point. Will it recover? And, you know, overall, as we look at this, for the first time in American history, y'all seen this, that less than 50% of Americans now go to church. What direction are we headed? That is worrisome. It really changes the course of which way America leans when it does that. It almost makes you think we've turned our back against the man that has made us who we are. Concerns me, and I hope it does you. I'm not here to preach to you, but pass along the information and let you decide. Let's get into that forecast this morning and find out what it is. We're starting it out right now at 49. Let's find out more about the forecast.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Our record highs and record lows, 02. It was a warm day, 84 degrees on this date. Back in 91, I'd been married for, I think, a year that. Yeah, that's what it was. It was 24 degrees, how cold it was. Oh boy, as we look at today's nice weather, 73, a few clouds, overall sunny as we'll look at this. 73 through the Meridian area. Northward, we'll get 74 at Columbus and Mississippi State to our south. Down to Vicksburg, 75, 76 in Natchez. Even Hattiesburg, due south of us, will hit 76, a little bit warmer than the Meridian area. As we go east, as we see this, 73 in Hamilton, we'll see about 74 degrees in Livingston, all the way over to Auburn, about 70. Some light showers on that eastern side of the state this morning due to the hurricane moving up through Georgia. As we look at this, we've got a frost coming Sunday morning. Y'all be prepared for this as cold weather moves into the area, and this will go right about the Enterprise line, right across there, northern Clark County, northward into Lauderdale, and all areas and points northward will have this. Y'all keep it in mind. Now, we've got a wind advisory on the eastern side of Alabama. And again, this is all due to the hurricane that's moving up through there from Troy, Auburn, Alabama, up to Anniston, Alabama. Wind advisory for you as this storm passes. Be careful. Keep it in mind. This is what we've got. And you see that dark blue. It's coming. It will be here by this weekend. This is what is set to bring those temperatures low as we look at our outlook. Down to 59 tonight. A little bit warmer than it is right now at our 49-degree level. 73 today, no chance of rain. By tomorrow, warmer, but that will be it. Enjoy tomorrow in your shorts and short-sleeve shirts because come Saturday, you need your flannel. We're looking for a high of 56 on Saturday with temperatures dipping below freezing. I've gotten somewhere between 29 to 30 for a low on Saturday night. We'll see as Mother Nature moves in. That's cold. Be prepared. Sunday, 54 for a high. Chilly. Down back to freezing again Sunday night, right there at 32. Warms up a tad at nighttime as we move forward on Monday, but highs will only reach the low to mid-50s. Look at that. Lows in the 30s to 40s, somewhere right along that degree. Now, let's go ahead through the 24th. As we get ready for Thanksgiving, it'll warm up a little bit later in the month, but we've got 50s all the way through the 21st of the month. By Tuesday, the 22nd, we'll jump back up to 64, but not much more than that. Could it feel like fall finally there at Thanksgiving? We'll see. Colder weather is coming. Y'all bundle up and get ready for this. Now, what's happening with the storm? As we looked at radar a few moments ago, she is a tropical storm, Nicole, moving along at 69 miles an hour. The millibars are at 981 this morning, moving west-northwest at 14 miles an hour as it rips through Florida. It will come out and go back into Georgia. Prayers for all of those as some strong winds as it rips through there. What does the fishing calendar have for us today? Well, Chet's Paint and Body tells us it's a pretty good day to go fishing. As we'll look at this, our first major time will be at 9 o'clock this morning. We'll go through about lunchtime, whenever you take yours, around 11. We'll get another time later this afternoon at 1:30 to about 4 o'clock, somewhere in that neighborhood. So if you can go fishing today, enjoy yourself. Get out and take advantage of everything that's going on. Not bad at all, is it? Again, as we bring in the morning show, we'll be back here in about 1 hour from now to tell you all about what's going on throughout the community. Don't forget that the 22nd Avenue Bridge still closed for the next 2 weeks. Also, Royal Road, which is just north of Highland Park, just off of State Boulevard. They've got a bridge out there that they're also repairing in the Meridian area. And as always, if you've got an event going on in your neighborhood, let us know about it. Send it to us, inboxes, however you need to do that so we can share it with others this morning. The Back Porch is doing a food drive. Don't forget about that. That's going to be going on all throughout this month. It's going to try to help folks in our area that need help during the holidays. The Back Porch Food Drive. Hope you can help them out. They're going to donate all this to Love's Kitchen and Wesley House. They need a little food there to get folks through the holidays. There's a lot more people, I promise you, that will need help this year as the economy is not what it used to be. It takes a little bit more to survive. We all know that. Thank y'all so much for being a part of this and making this such a popular show. I couldn't do it without you one way or the other. Thanks to all the sponsors that come in and help us bring these messages to you each day. But it's you that makes it happen, and I can't thank you enough. Candace joins me at 8 o'clock this morning sharp. She'll be in. Y'all come be a part of it. It's the fastest thing growing. We'll be right here on YouTube as you're watching, or maybe it's on Facebook you're watching, or you can join us on Fox 30. All of that kicks off this morning at 8 a.m. Thank you so much, and we'll see you back soon.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: